In this lesson, we'll be talking about the classes in phylum Platyhelminthes. The first one is class Turbellaria. These flatworms are free-living, which means they are not parasitic, so they do not rely on another organism for their survival. Here's some flatworms swimming in. They are marine or freshwater. The yellow and black one is a marine, and the more drab-looking one on the right is a freshwater flatworm. They are bottom dwellers, meaning they live on the bottom of the ocean or whatever freshwater body they're in. They vary greatly in color, form, and size, and you can see that from this collection of pictures. Very brightly colored, some can be, but others are more drab. There's another close-up of a turbellarian, or a free-living flatworm. These are perhaps the most famous examples of free-living flatworms. These are planaria. These are the ones that we talked about in the last lesson, that you could cut their head in half and they would regrow two heads. So they have remarkable regenerative powers. The next class is class Trematoda, and their common name are flukes. They are parasitic, which means they infect a host, and they rely on the host to survive. They rely on the host for nutrients, so they can feed constantly without any work. And the host is harmed in this process, but generally the host is not killed because the parasite wants to live off the host for as long as possible. So the parasite will take nutrients from the host, but still allow the host to get some nutrients so the host can continue to live. But the host can become quite sickly and have other symptoms that cause problems for the host if these parasitic flukes live within them. Most flukes infect the internal organs of hosts. There are blood flukes and liver flukes. Here are some examples of some blood flukes that live within the circulatory system of some animals. This is a blood fluke, and in red circle there is the pharynx type sucker that allows the fluke to hold on and gain nutrients from the host. Flukes have a complex life cycle. They generally infect two or more hosts. In this example, they are infecting a human, and then if there aren't good sanitary sewer systems, the humans will defecate the eggs out, and then the eggs infect other animals, and then the humans eat the infected animals, and the cycle continues. The last class we'll talk about in phylum Platyhelminthes is class Cestoda. Their common name are tapeworms. They are long, flat, parasitic worms adapted to life inside the intestines of the host. The head has a scolex, and you need to remember that word scolex. It's a structure that contains suckers or hooks. And they have proglottids, which are segments of the worms that can break off and create new tapeworms. So this is a form of asexual reproduction. These proglottids can break off and form entirely new tapeworms. And a tapeworm has lots and lots of proglottids. So this is a scolex. We looked at some pictures last lesson too, but these are the hooks that the tapeworms hook onto the inside of the intestines with. Remember, tapeworms do not have digestive systems. They absorb nutrients from the intestines of the host and live that way. Here's a pin of a tapeworm. Each of these little segments is called a proglottid, and this one has been dissected open so you could see, but it has the sperm and the eggs all within there, and these proglottids could break off and create entirely new tapeworm. So humans or animals get tapeworms by eating infected animals that's not cooked well. So if you eat a cow that has eaten tapeworms, that has tapeworms buried inside of its muscle, that hasn't been cooked well, the tapeworms aren't killed, and then you can be infected with tapeworms. In this case, the cow got the tapeworms by eating eggs that were deposited on the grass by an animal that pooped that defecated the tapeworm eggs out. And this is an example of what tapeworms look like on an x-ray. They glow really, really bright, and you can see this person has lots and lots of tapeworms. So that's the end of the classes of phylum Platyhelminthes.